Hi, my name is Abosede Babatunde. I'm a professor of peace and conflict studies. My work straddles strategic politics, particularly it looks at how it shapes climate crisis in extractive communities in the Niger Delta. My research also focuses on peace building, particularly capacity of people to build the resilience to tackle the climate crisis, looking at the fact that Africa and extractive communities in Africa in particular face significant or disproportionate impact of the climate crisis. I contributed a chapter in the book The Existential Toolkit for Climate Justice Education. My chapter focuses on building the capacity for resilience in the face of environmental shocks. And it explores how um, use storytelling of cases of successful stories of how communities have been able to adapt and build their capacity to cope with the climate change, to inspire my students, motivate and encourage them to see how they can contribute to the climate action to be able to mitigate the challenge, how to look beyond the gloom and doom of the climate crisis, but how to build their capacity to cope and encourage their communities, their families, relatives, people around them to also build their capacity to cope with the climate crisis. You cite examples of cases from the Niger Delta region where there is significant negative impact of oil-related activities and how communities are seeking ways to build their capacity to mitigate the environmental pollution. We have a kind of focus group discussion group where my students also share stories of successful communities that have been able to mitigate this environmental crisis by seeking strategies, by deploying, by considering, exploring strategies that can help them to build the capacity to cope. Because in the face of incapacity of the government, the civil society to assist the people to tackle the negative environmental impact, there is a need for the people to consider ways to cope and adapt with the climate crisis, particularly in Africa. So, when you read this book, my chapters and other related chapter, you see fascinating ideas, fascinating stories about how people across the world are building the capacity to cope with the climate crisis, and this will be very useful to use in teaching your students in the classes and also in communities where they are facing significant adverse impacts of the climate crisis. Thank you very much.